Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach. Good morning, good afternoon, good Carolina. Evening. Sorry about that. I was just putting on my monitor here so I can monitor our show here. Just give me another second. I need to make one other correction here. And we'll be here on the air with you the rest of the program here. Gosh, this is weird. This is really weird, guys. There we go. I got it. I got it, guys. How about that? We have Nova Scotia Rich here. We have Kanita Warrior. We have Enola here. We have Sergeant Johnson. We have Jerry Hayes here. We have Ava Marie Griffin, Nurse Griffin here. Welcome, welcome. We have Hurricane Heather as well. Guys, it's going to be a day here. I promise you it's going to be a great day here on Emergency Management Associates. We have a great start here. We've got quite a few people in on our program, and we want to start off this with a bang. First off, we're going to talk about the earthquake / volcanic eruption at Shiveluch Volcano on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Now, that's where I want to start this program off. Okay? Let's go back to a week and a half ago. Let's go back to a week and a half ago when we had the 8.8, 9.4 earthquake just southeast of the Kamchatka Peninsula. They talked about only two volcano eruptions. One, Kliuchevskoye volcano, and the other one is Kamchatka volcano just south of there. Guess what? There were a total of 6 eruptions there. There were a total of 6 volcanic eruptions there. 6 volcanoes in far eastern Russia on the Kamchatka Peninsula that have erupted after the 8.8 earthquake. After the 7.8, we had the Kliuchevskoye volcano go up. Then after the 8.8, they told us about the Kamchatka volcano going up. It wasn't the only one. A total of 6 volcanoes have erupted. There have been earthquakes and aftershocks ever since then. Okay? Kliuchevskoye volcano first erupted on July 30th, right after the 8.8. It had already shown signs of unrest before the earthquake. And experts deduced or thought that the volcano was going to erupt and earthquakes were likely. The eruption didn't trigger it, however. Okay? The Kliuchevskoye volcano was not triggered by the 8.8 eruption. However, it is very difficult to know the exact effect of the earthquake on the volcano. As we have already told you, when we have earthquakes, that shakes up the undercarriage of the earth, the crust that we walk on, shakes everything up. And with that shaking, it can also disturb the magma. Remember, we've told you that you cannot have a volcano without the underpinning of earthquakes offshore. You cannot have a volcano without the subduction. You can't have the volcano without subduction like this. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. With that subduction, as I stated before, that 8.8, 9.4 earthquake was a full plate rupture. A full plate rupture. And USGS called it the Asia-European plate, but it's not. It's the Okhotsk plate. The Okhotsk plate. Let me bring up the USGS map, then I'll show you the Shiveluch volcano erupting last night. The Sea of Okhotsk is on the other side, the western side of the Kamchatka Peninsula. Let me take down our banner here so you can see what we're talking about. Okay? Now, you see the Kamchatka Peninsula where these earthquakes are still hitting? Over here on the other side is the Sea of Tues. This is the Tues plate. I've done my homework. I finally found out it's the Tues plate here. It was a full plate rupture here. The Pacific plate rupturing against this Tues plate, complete separation. Complete separation. Now, why is that important to know? Because, folks, what happens when we have subduction? Okay, the two plates are one underneath the other like this, touching each other. In this case, the Pacific plate subducting underneath the Tues plate like this, causing what? Mountain building. Mountain building like this. Okay, mountain building. That also allows magma to rise up into those mountains, causing volcano. In this case, we had 6 volcano eruptions over on the Kamchatka Peninsula. You cannot have a volcano without subduction. You cannot have subduction without volcanoes. And the entire Kamchatka Peninsula are full of volcanoes. Full of volcanoes. Okay? I think there's a total of 23 volcanoes on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Now, I'm going to take this map down just briefly. I want to show you exactly what happened the other night. Okay? Actually, what happened last night. Let's take a look at the Shiveluch volcano right here. This is where it's at on the map. The northern part of the Kamchatka Peninsula here. The northern part of the Kamchatka Peninsula. Guess what? It popped. It popped. Last night, the Kamchatka Peninsula rocked again with a huge eruption of the Shiveluch volcano. Okay? This time, I believe the eruption reached at least 50,000 feet. 50,000 foot eruption. This is what it looked like on the heliopod. Major, major earthquake. Okay? It was larger than a 5.0, probably closer to a 6.5, 7.0 earthquake. That's what it looked like. When volcanoes do erupt, they can cause a large 5.0 earthquake. In this case, it looks more like a 6.0, 7.0 earthquake. Okay? I wanted you to see this. This is important to understand what goes on here. Big deal. A huge deal. Does anybody have any questions about what's happened? The Shiveluch volcano has also erupted already twice before this year. This year. It also erupted in September 2024 and April 2024 as well. Okay? This is not the first, it's not going to be the last. Shiveluch volcano erupted in 2019. Erupted in 2019. I have the evidence of that. Okay? Erupted in 2019. Erupted up to 85,000 feet high. Up into the stratosphere. An 85,000 foot eruption. And as I've said before on this program, USGS denied it happening. Then 2 days later, they had to admit that it happened because there was already ash over the northern part of Alaska. There was already ash over the northern part of Alaska, and that's where the ash is headed to now. The ash is already over the North Pacific Ocean. The ash is going to travel probably around the world at least twice. When that eruption happened in 2019, the Shiveluch volcano erupted up to 85,000 feet into the stratosphere. The jet stream carried the ash for 4 days. The jet stream carried the ash around the world 4 times. 4 times. Okay? But the eruptions of so many nearby volcanoes on the Kamchatka Peninsula since July 27th. Okay? 6 nearby volcanoes erupted. Not just Shiveluch, not just Klyuchevskoy, but Bezimeny. Bezimeny volcano also erupted. Karimsky volcano erupted. Aveyah volcano also erupted. All 6 volcanoes erupted. Shiveluch, Bezimeny, Karimsky, Aveyah, Krasnomakov, and Klyuchevskoy. Big deal. Big deal. Okay? On July 28th, 2021, a thermal anomaly over Shiveluch was identified in satellite images. In 2021, a gas and steam plume with some ash was visible in satellite data. The steam and ash plume was drifting 45 kilometers eastward already. Okay, that was in 2021. As it turned out, USGS refused to admit that eruption had occurred even then. They hadn't gotten past the Shiveluch volcano erupted in 2019, and here it is 2 years later, and they're still refusing to admit there was an eruption at Shiveluch volcano in 2021. In about 2 days, it was very evident that the event had occurred. A very large eruption, again, nearly 85,000 feet high, just exactly what happened in 2019. Okay? But again, what happened last night? Upwards of a 50,000 foot eruption last night. By the time USGS admitted the 2019 eruption and the 2021 eruption, the ash was already over towards the state of Alaska. Now, this highly isolated massif of Shiveluch volcano, also spelled Shiveluch, rises above the lowlands northeast of Klyuchevskoy volcano. 1,300 kilometers times 3. Okay? The Shiveluch volcano is like 40,000 feet in the air. Okay? Kamchatka, the Shiveluch volcano is one of Kamchatka's largest and most active volcanic structures, and an andesitic volcano, with at least 60 large eruptions during the Holocene period alone. The summit is roughly 65,000 years old. They call it Stara Shiveluch over in Russia. It's truncated by a 9-kilometer wide caldera. A 9-kilometer wide caldera, guys. That's huge. That's huge. Many lava domes occur on its outer flanks, meaning they have had other eruptions on the side of Shiveluch volcano. Other vents have erupted. The Molodoi Shiveluch lava dome complex was constructed during the Holocene period with a large open caldera. Now, I got a lot of information for this program from the Smithsonian Institution. Okay? Now, in Russia, the Shiveluch volcano is spelled Suelich. Suelich, which means smoking mountain. Shiveluch volcano is in the northernmost active volcano in Kamchatka, Russia. It and Karimsky are Kamchatka's largest volcanoes and the most active. and most continuously erupting volcanoes. Now, as well as one of the most active on the planet. Shiveluch and Krimsky are the most active volcanoes on the planet besides Mount Etna. Mount Etna appears to be erupting almost nonstop for many years now. It's been erupting for as long as I know. Now, Kamchatka volcanic arch, the volcanic arch, which hosts tens of other volcanoes. As the Pacific plate crust subducts deeper under the Tues plate, the Pacific plate crust subducts deeper under the Tues plate like this. As that happens, we're going to see more mountain building. The volcanoes are going to rise higher in the air as the Pacific plate subducts underneath the Kamchatka Peninsula like this, underneath the Tues plate. Okay? As that happens, the melting point of other minerals underground are going to be reduced. Let me repeat that. The melting point of minerals underground are going to be reduced by other minerals, including water, which results in the materials melting and forming into magma. Okay? The other materials down underneath the plate include water. 67% of all magma is water. 67% of all magma is water. Okay? And the magma rises into the surface and forms volcanoes. We saw that over at Popocatépetl. Back in the 40s, Popocatépetl used to be a cornfield in Mexico. All of a sudden, the farmer was plowing in the field and saw steam rising in the middle of his cornfield. And for several days, that steam caused a mountain to build. Magma from underneath that cornfield continued to rise. And Popocatépetl volcano rose to where it is today. I read the story back in high school, and I remember it today. That's how Popocatépetl rose as it is today. I'm sure Shiveluch volcano and some of these other volcanoes did the same thing in their infancy. It's going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to see these volcanoes on Kamchatka go up. We're going to continue to see earthquakes and volcanoes over in Alaska. We've had Great Sitka erupt before. We've had other volcanoes over in the Aleutian Islands erupt before. It's going to continue. Now, there was a point this past week when we thought that Mount Shure over in Alaska was going to erupt. It's not doing that. It's not doing that at all. Okay? But there are other volcanoes in Alaska that are showing signs of activity. Okay? We are going to see volcanic activity in Alaska. Mount Redoubt, which is just south and west of Anchorage, is also showing signs of a possible eruption. It's steaming. It's had earthquakes around it for quite some time. Swarms of earthquakes near its base. Mount Redoubt could erupt again as well. I want to make that clear. Now, all around the Ring of Fire, let me bring up the USGS map again. I want you to understand what we're talking about. Okay? Let's bring up the USGS map here. Let me take down my webcam. Over here, just southeast of the Kamchatka Peninsula, we've had another large earthquake. Okay? This red earthquake that you see here is a 5.2 large earthquake. A 5.2 large earthquake. As I've explained before, this is only the example that USGS wants to show us of earthquakes that have happened over here. There are probably close to 100 other earthquakes here. But USGS is not going to show them because they don't want us to know about it. But this 5.2 earthquake just hit. Earlier today, we had another 5.0 that happened at 5 p.m. It looks like they've taken several of the other, we had two other 5.0 earthquakes that happened earlier today. One at 12 minutes after midnight, another one at 4:12 this morning. So they're taking down the earthquakes so that we don't even think what's actually going on. We're not going to be allowed to see what's actually happening here. But all around this ring of fire, from down here on the western side of Chile down here, all the way down here to south of western Chile, all the way up here into Central America, the western shore of the United States and Canada, and Alaska, all the way through the Aleutian Island arc here, Kamchatka Peninsula, through the Kuril Islands here, Japan. Yes, we've had earthquakes and volcanoes erupt in Japan just during this past week. The earthquakes don't stop. They continue. We've had volcanoes south of Japan down here near, what's it called? What's it called? Something Shima. I can't even remember the name of it. Something Shima down here, south of Japan, right here. Volcano here. We've had volcanoes further down here in the Pacific here. Down here in the Philippines, we've had volcanoes. Down here into Indonesia, we have 7 volcanoes. They're almost constantly erupting down here. We have volcanoes over here in Vanuatu. We saw a volcano erupt down here just a few years ago. We're here in Tonga. We've had a volcano try to erupt over here in the center of the North Island of New Zealand. Taupo Lake. Taupo Lake is still shaking. USGS doesn't want to see what's going on. Even the USBS doesn't want to see it. There are tiny tremors all around Taupo Lake. Taupo Lake is a supervolcano here. Taupo Lake is a supervolcano. Heaven forbid they let us see that. Okay? Even down here in the South Pacific. Let's go over to Chile. This whole area of the Andes Mountains, from south to north here, all the way up into Colombia, it's full of volcanoes. Up in Costa Rica, we've also had volcanoes here in Costa Rica. We've had volcanoes in Nicaragua. We've had volcanoes in San Salvador. We've had volcanoes over 3 volcanoes over in Guatemala. And of course, over here in southeast Mexico down here, we have Popocatépetl. Popocatépetl can be seen from Mexico City. There are all kinds of volcanoes up and down the area around Mexico, north to south. All kinds of them. Now, let me take you over here to Baja California. Let's cruise Baja California real quickly. Okay? Right down here. See these round areas, these protruding round areas here? This is where magma just did not make it to the surface. Magma beneath the surface raised these areas up. Magma beneath the surface raised these areas up. Did not breach the surface, or it would have been called a volcanic eruption. But all over Mexico, this exists. I've seen it. I've seen it in my travels in Baja California. All over Baja California, these raised areas are where magma did not break the surface. Usually it's in a round area, such as this right here. Okay? Again, this is where magma has raised up the ground, but it's not broken the ground here. All over this area. Over here in California. Over here in California, we're going to talk about the Imperial Valley here in just a few minutes. Over here in California, the Salton Butte volcano right here. Right here in the southern part of the Salton Sea. Right now it's covered by water. But the Salton Butte volcano is very active. And yes, it could erupt at any moment. Any moment. We'll come back to the Salton Sea and the Imperial Valley in just a few minutes. We have volcanoes over here in East LA. Walnut La Puente, eastern Los Angeles. Walnut La Puente is a volcano. There are many other volcanoes over here on the eastern side of Los Angeles. Now, let's go north. Let's go north up here. Just north of Ridgecrest. Just north of Ridgecrest, we come to the Koza Volcanic Complex. The Koza Volcanic Complex here. There are a whole mess of vents here. It's not just one volcano, it's a mess of volcanic field here. There are a whole lot of vents here. Koza Volcanic Field. Then we come up further north over here to Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth Mountain right here. Just east of Mammoth Mountain, we have Long Valley Volcano out here. Both of those volcanoes are very active, and they are shaking. Magma trying to push up to the surface, and these volcanoes are shaking. Both of these volcanoes are also active. We go north here. What's here? Mono Lake. Mono Lake. Mono Lake is a volcano. The island in the middle of Mono Lake is the summit of the volcano. Fancy that. Out here to the east here is Aurora Borealis craters. The Aurora Borealis craters here. These are also volcanic vents. Now, a few years ago, we had another incident here in Nevada. Huge incident here in Nevada. Okay? That event led everybody to realize we have volcanoes out here as well. It was a 6.9 earthquake here. 6.9 earthquake here. Before that, nobody really realized what was going on here in Nevada. But after that earthquake, everybody realized what was happening. Right smack dab in a volcanic field. Right smack dab in a volcanic field out here in Nevada. This area is still moving. Moving a great deal. Let's move down here to this red earthquake here. This earthquake just happened, that's why it's red. This is Dyer, Nevada. Dyer, Nevada. Let's go here and look what's going on. Look at this, guys. We have volcanic vents here and even craters. Nevada is very active. Nevada is very active. Now, even north of there, north of Las Vegas, we have an Air Force base that nobody even knows about, called Area 21. I'm sorry, not Area 21, Area 51. Just west of Area 51. A big deal. More earthquakes, more volcanoes. USGS is not showing what's going on there. USGS is not showing what's going on. Why? Why? Guys, volcanic field here. Look where this is, Tonopah, Nevada. This is where we had that 6.8, 6.9 earthquake here years ago. Look at this. It's a huge volcanic field here. Huge volcanic field. Michael Kearney just gave out 3 EMA memberships here. We appreciate that. Thank you, Michael McCurney. If you guys have received memberships from this, please thank Michael Kearney for that. Michael Kearney's awesome. Thank you, Mike. God bless you. He's also put up 5 more Emergency Management Associates memberships. Texas Lady, Turbo, MT Gen, Mackinac, MAKNY, or NT, MAKNT, and a Spring Waters, I believe it is. You all receive memberships, 1-month memberships to our channel here. Please thank Michael Kearney for that. Thank you, Mike. God bless you. I see Heidi Pedrick is here. Heidi, thank you for all you do as well. Heidi's constantly giving memberships away. She's constantly helping support this channel. We appreciate that, Heidi. We appreciate all of your work. All of you. My buddy Trish Killian and Rich are probably here as well. Thank you for being here, Trish. God bless you. Anyway, guys, this whole area is a huge volcanic field. Okay, and it stretches all the way over here to Area 51. Huge volcanic field. It's not just that. Not just that. What happens when we go into Utah? What happens when we move into Utah? What do we have here in southern Utah? Can anybody tell me what we have here in Utah? Southern Utah? Down here in the southeast corner of Utah? More volcanoes right here. Enterprise, Utah. Let's continue over here to St. George. East of St. George, we also have volcanoes here. Just north of Cedar City here, and east of Cedar City here, we also have volcanic complex here. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's a lot more. A lot more. Okay? Let's go further north here. Right here. The Black Rock Desert volcano is here. The Black Rock Desert volcano. No, it's not along the coastline of California, Oregon, or Washington. But we have volcanoes all over this area. Volcanoes all over. And then you all know about what's going on in Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Yellowstone. Yellowstone, guys, right up here. Right at the border of Wyoming and Idaho here. Okay? They say this is actually a 1.1 tremor here, 8 miles south of West Yellowstone. It's near Driggs, Idaho. My family has property here near Driggs, Idaho, or in Driggs, Idaho. Okay? But this whole area is called the Area of Fire. Area of Fire. Volcanoes all over here. This here is Hebgen Lake Estates, west of West Yellowstone. Hebgen Lake Estates. What happened here? Back in 1959, we had a 7.1 earthquake that now USGS geologists are saying was actually an 8.0 earthquake. Earthquake. West of Yellowstone? No, it had nothing to do with the volcano. It had absolutely nothing to do with the volcano. It was an earthquake here on an earthquake fault at Hebgen Lake. Huge earthquake. Unreinforced masonry fell down. Fireplaces, brick walls, concrete walls fell down because they were not supported by steel. Here today we have a 0.2 microquake here at Hebgen Lake. We can still see a major earthquake here that could possibly happen at any time. Let's go over West Yellowstone here. I'm sorry, this is Hebgen Lake. This is west of Hebgen Lake here, 23 miles west of Hebgen Lake. Right here, near Cliff Lake here, it's a 2.0 earthquake, 17 miles west of Hebgen Lake. This is supposedly a 0.0 surface quake. However, guess what? It is 8.6 miles deep. It's not a surface quake at all. This is a 0.6 microquake. This is a 0.1 microquake. This is a 0.1 microquake. This is 0.5. These are 8.3 miles deep. This is 0.1. This is a minus 0.5, supposedly above sea level. Minus numbers are supposed to be above sea level, but this is not above sea level. It is 8.2 miles deep. Unreal. So again, USGS is trying to tell us something, but it's saying another. This is not above sea level at all. It's deep inside the earth here. This earthquake here is a 0.2, also 8 miles deep. They have it listed here as a minus number, meaning above sea level, but it's not. The agency continues to lie to us, to deceive us. This is Hebgen Lake. This is Hebgen Lake here. Let's go over and explore West Yellowstone here. Right here. You don't see USGS showing us any earthquakes here in West Yellowstone. There are tremors here. There are microquakes happening here in Yellowstone. Well, USGS wants to say nothing's happening. Now, for those of you that have been told that West Yellowstone is going to erupt, they're wrong. West Yellowstone is not showing any signs of eruption at all. The volcano at West Yellowstone is not showing any signs of eruption at all. Yes, we have some microquakes here, and yes, we have some tremors here occasionally. And I'll bet you if we went to the Utah Seismological Center, we would see tremors here and probably microquakes. But there is no evidence of large earthquakes. There are no 2.0s, there are no 2.1s, there are no 3.0s, and they're definitely not 4.5, 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, and even 5.0 earthquakes. They're not happening. In order to have a volcanic eruption, we have to see these earthquakes, and we have to have significant land rise. Yes, in some places, especially around Yellowstone Lake, we have some minor land rise. Some minor land rise, millimeter land rise here under Yellowstone Lake. That's because years ago we saw some good sized 1 or 2 inch land rise here. And yes, they saw the bottom of Yellowstone Lake cracking. Yellowstone Lake heated up. They saw land cracking underneath the lake, the bottom of the lake. That's because, in fact, let me bring up our webcam here. I want to show you what happened there. Okay. Underneath Yellowstone Lake, okay, there was what they call a dike. Magma had risen underneath the lake like this. A dike, a magma dike was forming. And magma was pushing up underneath Yellowstone Lake, but it stopped. It did not go any further. Will that happen again? The magma that had been there has now probably solidified into a huge piece of lava. Huge piece of lava rock. Could it happen again where magma would try to rise underneath Yellowstone Lake? Possibly. Possibly. Right now it's not happening. Very little minimal land rise here under Yellowstone Lake. Yellowstone Lake is not going to erupt. We're not going to see eruption at Yellowstone at all. Yes, we have seen some geysers go up, even 2 new geysers in the Norris Geyser Basin. But again, Yellowstone is not showing any signs of eruption at all. At all. Does anybody have any questions about this so far? I want to make sure we answer any questions that you might have. Now, some of you are saying thumbs up to this channel. Please do that. We need thumbs up here, okay? We get some thumbs up here. We appreciate that greatly. We need thumbs up here. Why? Because YouTube uses those thumbs up to assess whether they're going to let anybody else on YouTube watch this channel. That and the amount of time that you're watching this channel. If you plan on coming in here only 2 or 3 minutes, you're not going to get anything out of this channel. You need to come in here and watch this channel. Watch it more than 15 or 20 minutes, in fact. If you watch it only 15 or 20 minutes, you're only going to get the beginning of our program. You're not going to get any significant information from our program. So please, folks, stick around. Watch our program. Yes, we sometimes go up to 2 or 3 hours. I'm sorry about that. When we have so much information to give you, that happens. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about earthquakes in Los Angeles. Yes, we're having earthquakes in LA. We're having earthquakes in LA. Nothing more than 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes, however, in Los Angeles. But I'm going to show you earthquakes in the city of LA. I am going to show you some good-sized earthquakes in the city of Los Angeles today. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, we were talking about the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire constitutes this outer side of the United States, the west side of the U.S. and Canada. Yes, there are volcanoes over here on the west side of California, and on the west side of Oregon and Washington as well. They exist. We have volcanoes over in Alaska. That's why they call this whole area the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire. Okay? Let's go back here to Indonesia here. Today here in north central Indonesia, Gorontalo, Indonesia, we had a 5.2 earthquake. Okay? Right here. The Philippines. The Philippines down here. Just south of Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao, Philippines is this large island here in the southern Philippines. Heidi Petrick just gave out 5 EMA monthly memberships here to people here. Veta Voigt, Jeremy McWhorter, Clark Kent. We have Superman here. Clark Kent is here. He got a membership here. Linda Alber's here. She got a membership. Mimi got a membership. We want to thank Michael McKinney for that. No, I'm sorry. That was Heidi Petrick. Heidi Petrick gave out these memberships. If you got a membership, please thank Heidi Petrick for that. Thanks, Heidi. God bless you. I sure love all you guys for doing that. But down here in Mindanao, Philippines, yesterday, right here near Davao City, we had a 5.3 earthquake that hit here. Now, several years ago, I believe it was 2022, we had several 7.4 earthquakes here near Davao City. They devastated Davao City, Philippines. Devastated it. The earthquakes knocked down 3 schools. They devastated homes all over Davao City and the outskirts of Davao City as well. We had videos showing water flying out of pools at the top of hotels. They had rooftop swimming pools, and the water was being thrown out of the swimming pools down the sides of the hotels. Incredible. Yesterday we had a 5.3 earthquake here. Okay? They have no reports of damage yet. I'm sure there was some damage because 5.3 earthquakes can do a lot of damage. But this earthquake south of Mindanao, Philippines, another 5.3 here, it's out in the Pacific Ocean, and nobody felt this earthquake. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. The ocean waters absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Okay? That's what happened here south of Philippines. This earthquake here, Guarantola, Philippines, people felt this earthquake. It was on land near the coastline here. There are towns, there are settlements here in Indonesia. People felt this quake. Guaranteed. Okay? 5.2 earthquake there. Further down south here, Timor-Leste, Indonesia. This earthquake hit out here in the Banda Sea. 5.4 large earthquake here. 5.0, 5.5 are considered to be large earthquakes. Anything 5.5 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. This was a 5.4 large earthquake. This was 325 miles deep. This was actually 535 kilometers deep. Guess what? This is a very deep earthquake. As a result of this very deep earthquake here in Indonesia, we are going to see much larger earthquake. We're going to see a 6.5 to 6.6 earthquake as a result of this 5.4. The 5.4 earthquake is going to cause a much shallower and larger earthquake. A 6.5 to a 6.6 earthquake is going to result from this 5.4 earthquake today. Can happen. Can happen. We've had one aftershock. This 4.5 aftershock hit at 12:32 p.m. this afternoon. This 5.4 hit at 12:21. Interesting. So this was actually, it happened at 12:32. This happened within about 11 minutes after the 5.4 aftershock here. Okay, but that's not over. Look over here also in the Banda Sea. Okay, we've had a 4.1 here, a moderate quake. This is 119 miles northeast of Los Paulos, Timor-Leste, Indonesia. Nobody felt this quake. It was a moderate quake out here in the Banda Sea. This earthquake here is also in the Banda Sea, a 4.3 earthquake here. Nobody felt those earthquakes. Let's go further northeast here. Right here. Look at this. This is a 5.1 aftershock. A 5.1 aftershock. Why? Because over here near Aveyah, Indonesia, we had a 6.3 very strong earthquake. A 6.3 very strong earthquake here on land. Heidi Patrick just gave us a $50 super chat. Heidi, thank you ever so much. God bless you so much. Heidi, we love you. We appreciate you so much. I just gave you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I'm giving you a thumbs up as well. We love you. We love you. How do you make me cry? There are many people here in our EMA family that have done this before. And I love each and every one of you for it. Continue to support our program. You guys helped Carol get to Utah for her mother's funeral. Her mother died on July 28th. Funeral was 7 days later. You help us pay our bills to keep this program on the air. as I said before. Gosh, Heidi, you touched my heart, Heidi. Thanks. When I first came on the air over 6 years ago, April 3rd, 6 years ago, I didn't even think about it costing money to produce a program. It costs money for bandwidth to keep us on the air. You can't do a program unless you have bandwidth. I found that out. Heidi Petra just gave us another $50 super chat. God bless you, Heidi. I just gave you another EMA sticker on your super chat, another thumbs up. Heidi says, cry on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes, Jesus is Lord. I've done devotionals here at the end of our program. Most of you know that I teach Sunday school class, and I've been teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ for many years. One of my favorite scriptures is in the New Testament. I've got a lot of favorite scriptures, but this one stands out. Back when I was a teenager, a friend of our family pointed out to me. It's found in Philippians, the first chapter, verses 2, 3, and 4. I thank my God upon every remembrance of you, in every prayer, giving thanks for you, from this day until the next. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you here that help support this program in one way or the other. It means a great deal to me. Yes, we do need Jesus Christ in our lives. More than ever. Anyway, over here near Aveyah, Indonesia, this is 120 miles west-northwest of Aveyah, Indonesia. We've had a lot of earthquakes here in recent past and many years following. Since I've been here on the air, I believe we probably had close to 10 or 15 earthquakes near Aveyah, Indonesia here. This is just another one. This is a very strong 6.3 earthquake. This earthquake is felt all over this island. All over this island here. Unreal. As I said before, people that live here in Indonesia and over here in Papua New Guinea felt this earthquake. People who live here in New Guinea and Indonesia don't have much money. They might make probably $500 a year. They live off the land. They live in cardboard and wooden huts. Cardboard and wooden huts here. They thank God for what they have. Then they have an earthquake such as this. The hits and all their lives are destroyed. Sometimes even loss of life. Then they have cyclones, hurricanes that come through here as well. Also ending lives and destroying property. These poor people here deserve our prayers. They deserve our prayers. We just had another earthquake over here in the Banda Sea here. This is also near Timor-Leste, Indonesia, a 4.5 earthquake here. They keep happening. And guys, these are not the only earthquakes here. There are 42 earthquakes here in Indonesia. 42 earthquakes here in Indonesia. and USGS doesn't show but these few earthquakes. What a joke. What a joke. Now, over here in the Solomon Islands, they've taken some 4.2 and 4.5 earthquakes down here from Indonesia. Arlo Ponders just gave us a $100 super chat. Arlo says, I've been watching for 5 years. You are truly dedicated. Sorry to hear of your wife's mother. My condolences. We appreciate that so much, Arlo. God bless you for that. I'm also giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I'm also giving you a thumbs up. When you guys do this, it breaks me up. I love you. I love all of you that are faithful enough to help support this channel. It means a world of difference to all of us. It really does. Gummit. You guys are special. You guys are so special. Oh, man. I have great respect for these people who live over here in Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, over here in the Solomon Islands, even over here in Vanuatu. Loyalty Legacy Islands down here. Over here in Fiji. I love the people in the South Pacific Islands. I have a lot of friends from Fiji. I have some friends from the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. I have friends that served as missionaries in Vanuatu. I have many friends in Fiji. I have friends over here in Tonga. Here today in Tonga, we have a 5.5 earthquake here. Another 5.5 earthquake here. We had a 5.4 here yesterday. Here's another one. Very large 5.5 earthquake occurred 57 miles northeast of Hiihupo, Tonga. Guys, oh gosh. I love you guys. I see Mark here. Thank you for being here, Mark. God bless you. My buddy Sage Pup is here. Sage Pup says Michael gave you a super chat a little while ago. I saw that. Thank you so much, Michael. I mean it. You guys touch my heart. You guys touch my heart. Oh, gosh. Michael Kearney gave us a $50 super chat here. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Now, I told you about a super volcano over here in the North Island of New Zealand here. We have 26 earthquakes here in New Zealand. Most of those earthquakes are to the north over here in the Bay of Plenty, on the North Island, and a couple over here on the South Island as well. We're not planning. The USGS has said that this area along the east side of the North Island is a subduction zone, huge subduction zone. They said within the next 25 years, they were expecting an 8.0 to an 8.5 earthquake to happen here, just off the eastern coast of the North Island of New Zealand. That's going to devastate this entire island. That earthquake can also erupt Topo Volcano. The power of that 8.0, 8.5 earthquake could erupt Topo Volcano. We shall see what we shall see. Okay? I hope and pray it does not erupt even in my lifetime, or yours or theirs. We have people that live along the east coast of New Zealand here. All up and down the east coast of New Zealand here. They'll feel that earthquake. Paige Bullock just gave us a $20 super chat. Paige says, this is the first time I found your channel. Thank you for what you are doing, and God bless you. And God bless you as well. You guys make my day. You guys are everything I could ever hope for on this channel. We appreciate and love your support. We appreciate and love each one of you. I just gave you an EMA sticker on your super chat, and I also gave you a thumbs up for that. Thank you so much for your support, everyone. But anyway, here in New Zealand, these guys are going to have a major earthquake here. It's a matter of time. There are communities all up and down New Zealand. On the eastern side island, over here in the Bay of Plenty, people live here. All around Topo Lake, there are communities and towns around Topo Lake here, especially right here. Look at that. Look at that. Huge towns around Topo Lake here, all over. There are towns further out here to the west as well. All kinds of people live here in New Zealand. I believe they have 2 or 3 million people living here in New Zealand. It's a beautiful thing. Now, over here, just about, what shall I say? Just about 6 years ago, we had a volcanic eruption right here. Since that volcanic eruption, nothing else has happened, fortunately. Fortunately, this is also a very active volcano here. It can erupt at any time. They have one other volcano besides Topo Volcano. It's over here. Now, I don't have any information about this volcano at all. But again, it's a big volcano. And just off to the west, we have 2 other vents here. We have 2 other vents that have erupted before. It could happen again. It could happen again. All these islands here in the Pacific are a result of volcanic action. Every one of these volcanoes are a result of volcanic action. Every one of these islands, I should say, are a result of volcanic action. That's what's going on. Now, let's go over here to Southern California. I told you we were going to show you earthquakes here in Southern California, and I meant it. The rest of this program will be devoted to earthquakes in Southern California. This earthquake right here, this near Malibu, California, and for all intents and purposes, it is in Malibu itself, right along the shoreline. This is a 1.5 tremor here in Malibu, California. They say it's 1 mile north-northwest. It's in Malibu, California. Malibu, California here. Okay? We have earthquakes all over this area. And I'm going to show you a lot more earthquakes than they're showing you here. Offshore here, this is a 1.8 tremor here. This is southeast of Avalon, California. Avalon is an island right here. It's populated. It's populated. There is an airport out here. I don't believe that's the airport. Yes, it is. This is an airport here at Avalon. Okay. They have beaches all over Avalon here. This is a highly populated island here. It's a tourist trap as well. Tourist trap. So far, I haven't seen any homes or anything else here, but I know it's a tourist trap here. Right here, we have some homes here. Up here, this is the part I've been to right here. This is the city of Avalon here. Okay? Unreal. Unreal. Took a boat out there one time. A friend of mine and I took a boat out there. It was a great place. Anyway, we have an earthquake out here, 1.8 tremor here, just south and east of Avalon. Okay? There are earthquakes all over here. It's too darn bad they're not even showing us all the earthquakes out here. This is 5 miles southwest of Corona, California. This is a 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 earthquake. Out here to the east, here near San Bernardino. This is a 1.0 tremor here. South there, Redlands, Mentone, California. This is a 0.5 microquake. It's right next to the San Andreas Fault. Fancy that. This earthquake here near San Bernardino, it's on the San Jacinto Fault. This earthquake is just west of the San Andreas. Okay, 0.5 near Mentone, California. Right here. This is Beaumont, California, 1.4 tremor. On the east side of the San Andreas Fault here. Bear Lake. Bear Lake here. 6 miles northwest of Bear Lake. A 0.9, 1.0 tremor here. Big Bear Mountains. Out here, Beaumont, California, also near the San Andreas Fault. 1.4 tremor. Now you see earthquakes down here on the San Jacinto Fault here, and down here near the Elsinore Fault here, Palomar Observatory. 0.5 microquake here, and a 1.3 tremor here. Interesting. The San Jacinto Fault, Idlewild, California. We have a 2.0 minor earthquake here. This is a 0.5 microquake here near Idlewild. This is a 0.6 earth tremor here, microquake here. This is a 1.1 tremor here near Idlewild. Go south, having more earthquakes. Anza, California, the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast of San Diego County. Interesting. Lake Henshaw, northeast of Escondido. I do not know who's trying to call me. I have no idea who's trying to call me. If you're trying to reach me and you're with me in the program, please try and call me back after the program's over. Okay? Anyway, as you see, we have a lot of earthquakes here in Southern California. Down here on the San Jacinto Fault, actually, this isn't the San Jacinto, this is the Elsinore Fault here. Julian, California, 1.0 tremor. 1.0 tremor here in Julian. This is a 1.2 tremor also in Julian. This is a 0.6 microquake. 8 miles east-southeast of Julian. Let's go out here, this new red earthquake here over in the Imperial Valley. Just east of the Chocolate Mountains here. This is a 0.8 microquake. Southeast, west-south, actually not east, west-southwest of Salton City. Salton City, California. Salton City, California is right here. Salton City, California is right here. It's a city here, but it's basically a ghost town. There are some people that live here in campers and RVs here, but that's all. Yes, Salton City used to be a thriving town here around the Salton Sea, but that was in the 50s and early 60s. Since then, the Salton Sea has become contaminated from agricultural waste. So now you can hardly even go in the water at all. It's not recommended because you'll get burns on your legs and hands if you go into the water. Stay out of the water of the Salton Sea. Okay? As I said before, down here on the southern side of the Salton Sea, we have the Salton Butte Volcano. Active volcano here. Just southeast here, we have Nyland, California right here. Southwest of Nyland, we have Calipatria here. I'm going to show you a seismogram from Calipatria. USGS has scrubbed a lot of earthquakes off the seismogram. Over here in Calipatria, we usually see anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes every day. But I'm going to show you a lot of activity here at Calipatria. A ton of activity here at Calipatria. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. One of our own family members lives over here in the Imperial Valley. I have several friends here living in the Imperial Valley. We have a friend here in Westmoreland. He lost his wife to cancer here about 2 years ago. We honor her by talking about it. Westmoreland used to have a seismograph sitting here. USGS and Caltech have deactivated the seismograph. So we have no record of anything happening here at Westmoreland, but we know there are earthquakes here in Westmoreland itself. Definitely. Then we drop down here to the south. Okay, right here. Imperial, California. The town of Imperial, California is right here. Guess what? Earthquakes. Yes, I'm going to show you earthquakes here in Imperial County and in the town of Imperial itself. It's showing a 1.3 tremor here, but I'm going to show you a lot more than 1.3 tremors. I'm going to show you minor earthquakes. I'm going to show you microquakes. I'm going to show you a lot of earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. Then we're going to go south here to El Centro. We have a friend of our family here. His name is Juanito. He and his family live here in Imperial, in the town of El Centro here. Juanito feels earthquakes here. We have about 20 3.0 and large earthquakes here in El Centro today. 20 3.0 and large earthquakes here in El Centro. I'm going to show you those as well. Okay? There's not that's not all, folks. There's more. Let's go over here to Holtville. Holtville has a seismograph here in Holtville. It's at the Salton Sea Desert Research Station here in Holtville. We have earthquakes here in Holtville as well. USGS is not hardly showing anything. Right here in the Imperial Valley itself, we have 500 earthquakes every day. 500 earthquakes here every day, and we just had another earthquake here in the Imperial Valley. This is in Brawley, just southwest of Brawley here. This is a 1.3 tremor here. I've been in Brawley, California many times. There's one other place I'm going to shoot tonight. It's over here on the east side of the Salton Sea. This is Bombay Beach. I'm going to show you a sideground at Bombay Beach. It's going to blow you away. Bombay Beach has at least 5 to 10 3.0 earthquakes here every day. Not just 3.0, but upwards of 3.5 and 4.0 earthquakes here every day. Bombay Beach, California. I'm going to show you a side map from here as well. So you're in for a treat. We've had a lot of earthquakes here, and we'll continue to have earthquakes here. This is another earthquake that just happened here. Again, this is 9 miles west-southwest of the Salton City here in the Imperial Valley, out here in the desert area of the Imperial Valley. Okay? These earthquakes right here are in Borrego Springs and the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. This is a 1.8 tremor. This is a 0.9 microquake. And this is a 1.7 tremor in Borrego Springs, California. The Anza Borrego Desert State Park here in northeast San Diego County. We're going to talk about this and more. Stay tuned for just a second. That's all it's going to take for me to pull up the information here on our map here. Okay? You're going to get blown away here. Right here, we showed you an earthquake just off the coast of Los Angeles, off the coast of Aveyah, California. This is just another earthquake here. This is Channel Island. Channel Island, also an island out here just off the coast of Los Angeles. Look what we're showing you here. What we're showing you here are tremors here. Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.2, 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes here on Channel Island. Last week we showed you a 3.0 earthquake here. We don't have any 3.0 small earthquakes here to show you today. Just minor earthquakes, tremors, and microquakes here on Channel Island. Okay? Channel Island, guys. Let's keep going. From here, we want to go out to the Rancho Mirage, California. Look at this. Again, Rancho Mirage is getting hit with earthquakes, tremors in this case, from the San Andreas Fault. We have several long duration tremor sequences. Long duration tremor sequences, sometimes upwards of 3 to 4 minutes long. You see them here. One after 5:30 this morning on the top blue line here. Another one after 6 a.m. Actually, 7 a.m. here. The top black line is 5 a.m. The next black line is 6 a.m. This next line is 7 a.m. here. Over on the left and right hand side of this line here, after 7 a.m., you see some long duration tremor sequences. And then another here. Another after 10:30 on the blue line here. Another on the black line after 11 a.m. here on the right hand side. Long duration tremor sequences here. It happens. This is on the San Andreas Fault. Then we go out to Victorville. Look at this. Our dear friend Isaiah's granny lives out here in Victorville. She and her family live here. They felt these quakes. Yes, we have some minor earthquakes, we have some tremors, but Victorville got hit today with a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 small earthquake here in Victorville, California. This is the first 3.0 earthquake I've seen in Victorville for quite some time. They live smack dab on top of the San Andreas Fault. Now, when the San Andreas Fault goes, Victorville is going to have some problems. All the towns on either side of the fault are going to have problems, major problems. I don't wish anything bad on Isaiah's granny and her family. I love them very much. I don't wish anybody bad, but I'm telling you right now, the San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. And any day now, literally any day, it is imminent. The San Andreas Fault could explode here. And it would cause all the other ancillary faults in the near vicinity to pop as well. Los Angeles and everywhere else is going to get nailed. Big time. Big time. It's a matter of time, guys. Hurricane Hunter says, love you, Grant. I say the same thing. Isaiah Granny is a very, very dear friend of mine. I appreciate her a lot. I appreciate a lot of you that much. I love Isaiah's Granny. She's a great lady. Anyway, this is out in Victorville, but I'm not done. Let's go down to Hemet. Hemet is on the San Jacinto Fault. Look what's happening here. Tremors. In Hemet, we had some minor earthquakes, and we even had a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here in Hemet last week. Look at this earthquake off the side of 9:30 this morning. 9:32 this morning, we had a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Incredible. This area is moving. Hemet's moving. I have friends in Hemet. I've taught school at this college where this seismograph is located, the San Jacinto campus. Small community college here. We had a small earthquake last week, and we had a near small quake today. And some very, very sensitive people might have felt this quake. Sensitive people might feel this 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. 3.0 larger, they feel this very rapidly underneath their feet, moving earth underneath their feet. Okay? San Jacinto campus in Hemet, California. Now, with that said, let's go out to Los Angeles. Okay? I want to make a stop at Camarillo, California. We had a ICE raid out here in Camarillo where a bunch of illegal aliens were caught working in a pot field, a marijuana field. They raided here. They also captured 32 minor children. 32 minor children working out here in the heat with very little water. The cartel was running this marijuana field, employing these illegals here. Also child trafficking. The cartel was allowing children to work in the field to pay off their fees for the cartel bringing them into the United States. As you can see, there are minor tremors over here in Camarillo. This is the desert part of Los Angeles. The desert part of Los Angeles. Okay, let's go out to Chino. We've had minor tremors, and we've had minor earthquakes here in Chino, and we've even seen some 3.0 earthquakes here in Chino in the past few weeks. Now, all we have here are minor tremors here. All we have here in Chino is minor tremors. Things have calmed down significantly here in Chino. Okay? That's not all. Let's keep over here. Let's go over north of the city of LA. This is Ellis, California. Ellis, California, we've seen 3.0 earthquakes, we've seen tremors, and we've seen minor earthquakes here in Ellis before. Yes, we're seeing a bunch of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here, minor earthquakes. Up here in the blue line that you see here with significant activity, we see 2.0, 2.7, and 2.8 minor earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes here today. Doesn't mean we're not going to see large earthquakes, but this is just what's happening today. Ellis, California, just north of Los Angeles. Let's keep going. East of LA, just west of the San Andreas Fault. Fontana, California, guys. Fontana, California. Last week, USGS said we had 4.3 earthquakes. They only said we had one. Last week, I showed you many 4.3, 4.5, and 4.7 earthquakes here in Fontana. Today, you can see more 3.0 earthquakes all over here. Fontana is still shaking. 3.0 earthquakes are small earthquakes, and some of these earthquakes may be slightly larger than 3.0. They are small earthquakes, and people feeling these earthquakes beneath their feet. They may see their furniture move across the floor several inches. They may hear their plates and glasses and silverware clanking around in the kitchen. That's what happens when you have these small earthquakes here. You see tremors here, and you see these minor earthquakes all over here. Fontana is on a roll, guys. Fontana is still shaking. This is right next to the San Andreas Fault. For the USGS not to be showing this is a travesty. The United States Geological Survey needs to be showing this. Them not showing it is lying to the public. Lying to the public. And that's exactly what's going on here. Let's drop down to the southern Los Angeles coastline to Laguna. We have a bunch of tremors still here at Laguna. We have no microquakes here at all. We have just tremors, very minor tremors. 1.1, 1.2, upwards of 1.3 tremors here in Laguna, California, along the southern coastline of LA. Let's continue here. Let's go over to Long Beach. Light hype. Look what we have here. We have a bunch of minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here in Long Beach. Last week and the week before, we were seeing 3.0, 3.5 small earthquakes here happen here in Long Beach, California. This is light hype. This is called light hype. Long Beach, California. Now I'm going to show you another seismogram here, also just east of Long Beach, right here. Yes, you see tremors here, and you see some minor earthquakes here as well. This is over on the far east side of Long Beach. Okay? Earthquakes are happening here. Literally all over. Literally all over. Now I want to go to downtown Los Angeles. This is the Emergency Operations Center in the basement of the City County building of LA. Look at this. Yes, we have some tremors here, but we are also having some minor earthquakes on the blue line just after 7 o'clock. That blue line just after 7 o'clock is 7:30. But what we see happening here after 8:30 this morning, 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes happening here in the downtown area of Los Angeles. Small earthquakes. Small earthquakes. They last over 4 hours so far. They last over 4 hours. I pulled this diagram just after 3 p.m. Eastern Time. 3 p.m. Eastern Time here on this blue line here is 12:30. So actually I pulled this diagram just after 3:30 this afternoon. 2.0, 3.0, 3.5 small earthquakes. Everybody in Los Angeles is feeling these earthquakes here. This is downtown Los Angeles. The subway here had to stop to check their tracks to make sure the train would still run properly and not derail. This is what can happen in Los Angeles, guys. It's happened before where we had a lot of earthquakes in Long Beach, that whole area. They had to stop the rides and check and make sure all the rides at Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm would operate properly. Now here today in downtown Los Angeles, they're having to check the light rail lines to make sure the trains aren't going to have any problems. Los Angeles City is rocking. Los Angeles City is rocking. Look at that. So now, folks, west of Fontana is a town called Loma Linda. Just west of Loma Linda is a town called Mariloma. Here in Mariloma, you're not seeing anything more than tremors and minor earthquakes. Yes, we've seen minor tremors. We've seen minor earthquakes here before. A lot of them. We've even seen 3.0 earthquakes here at Mariloma before. Again, the eastern side of Los Angeles is rocking and rolling. No joke. No joke. Now, I want to show you some other areas as well. North of Los Angeles again, there are a lot of communities out there. Moore Park, look at this. In Moore Park, we've been showing you 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes. We've been showing you minor tremors here and minor earthquakes. There have been at least 2, possibly 3, 3.0 large earthquakes here in Moore Park, up at the top on the red line. Just after 5:17 this morning, 3.0 small earthquake. Another earthquake after 6:18, actually 6:19 a.m. this morning. Again, another good sized 3.0 earthquake happened after 9:19 a.m. this morning. Again on the blue line. Then we had another 2.8 earthquake after that happened at 10:19 a.m. Then after 12:18 a.m. this morning, or 12:18 p.m. this afternoon, on the bottom blue line, this is a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake here. Moore Park, California. This is considered a bedroom community, although they have a downtown area at Moore Park. They have restaurants. They have regular city services here in Moore Park. LAPD and LA Sheriff's Office patrol Moore Park. It's a thriving city out here. Moore Park is shaking. Let's go over to Pardee. Look at Pardee. Pardee, we've had some 3.0 earthquakes here in the past weeks. Now we are all we are seeing here in Pardee are minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.6 earthquakes. 2.0, 2.6 earthquakes here in Pardee, California. Let's continue moving here. I want to go out to Rinaldi now. Rinaldi, California. We've had 3.0 earthquakes. We've had minor earthquakes here before. Now all we are seeing here are tremors. All that we are seeing here in Rinaldi are tremors here. Nothing more. It's going to pick up again. It will pick up again. Now, besides that, I want to take you out to a town called Rio Hondo. Rio Hondo. Look at this. We've had minor earthquakes here before. We're seeing nothing more than tremors. 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 tremors here in Rinaldi, or I should say Rio Hondo. This is Rio Hondo. Now I want to go south to the south side beaches, or actually north of Los Angeles, to the north beaches of Los Angeles. I want to show you Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey. The area is moving. This is a very exclusive area of Los Angeles. Yachts and large boats dock here in the slips of Marina del Rey and Playa del Rey. Yes, you're seeing some tremors here. You're also seeing some 2.0, 2.3 minor earthquakes here as well. It's rocking. And this, guys, usually just has no more than tremors at all. No more than tremors. Now we're having some minor earthquakes as well. This means the seismic energy is picking up here in Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey, over here on the north shore of Los Angeles. It's moving. Moving a great deal. Let's continue on. We're not done. We're not done. Now, there are a bunch of hills out in Los Angeles. Santiago Peak, for example. There are television station and radio station repeaters on top of Santiago Peak. We're seeing some minor tremors here. That's all. In past weeks, we've seen minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.6 minor earthquakes here in Santiago Peak. We're not done. I want to go over to Anaheim, California. This is State Street. This is State Street in Anaheim, California. Look at this. Right near Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. Look what we're having here. We've had 3.0 earthquakes here in Anaheim before. Today, we're not having anything more than tremors and minor earthquakes. 2.4, 2.5 tremors here and minor earthquakes here. 2.0 earthquakes happening here. Anaheim, California. Where Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland are king. We're not done. Let's go over to the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. Again, here at the University of Southern California, we see nothing more than minor tremors. That's usually all we see. Yes, we've seen in the past weeks some minor earthquakes, but nothing more than that. Today, we don't see anything more than tremors here at University of Southern California in LA. Okay? Now, I know I'm going kind of fast, but I want to show you all of this. I told you that eastern Los Angeles had a volcano, Walnut La Puente. Look at this. I kid you not. This is the Walnut Puente caldera. They built two towns and cities over here in Los Angeles. The city of Walnut and the city of La Puente, built on top of a volcanic caldera. Look what's happening here. This is kind of tame compared to previous weeks. Previous weeks have actually shown us many more earthquakes here. Here you're seeing some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.5. You're also seeing some 3.0, 3.5, possibly even 4.0 moderate earthquakes. For example, for kicks and giggles here. Nothing more than kicks and giggles here. Let's take, for instance, that green earthquake at the top right. The top and the bottom of that earthquake sequence have been cut off. That earthquake sequence lasted nearly 2 minutes. How would you like to have a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake wake you up in the morning? That's what happened here. This earthquake hit here at approximately 5:56 this morning. 5:56 this morning. 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. That's going to rattle your bed. It might even, if you sleep on the very edge of the bed, it might throw you off. How about that black line after that? That would be 6 a.m. on the left-hand side, and over here, it would be approximately, now let me look at this. Approximately be 6:06 over here in the center here. Starts off with some tremors, builds up to minor earthquakes 2.0, and probably up to 2.7, 2.8 minor earthquakes. After that, over here on the right-hand side. On the left, it would be 6:15 on the red line. Over here on the right, this again is 6:26 a.m. this morning. The top and the bottom of this sequence have been cut off, which means this earthquake was again at least 3.5, 4.0 in size. USGS doesn't want to show us exactly how strong these earthquakes are. Heaven forbid we scare the people. We're not here to scare you. We're trying to show you this information so you're going to be prepared, because these earthquakes are going to get larger. These earthquakes are going to get larger. There is magma down beneath the surface of this caldera. The caldera is the volcanic floor, a huge volcanic rock that solidified after the last eruption. Now there's dirt, all kinds of plants in the city here, all over this caldera. But down beneath there is magma here. Magma that's raising its head here. That's why you're seeing earthquakes here. Now we have a second black line here after 7 a.m. this morning. Okay, let's go over to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After about 7:06 this morning, 3.0 earthquake. We had no inlead, we had no tremors before that, but all of a sudden we have a 3.0, 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. The top and the bottom of this sequence have been cut off. That means this earthquake is probably larger than a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. Just by itself, it shows a 3.0. But the top and the bottom have been cut off, which we can take to mean it was a large earthquake. 3.5 small, 4.0 moderate earthquake here. Then we have another sequence. On the green line here, on the left-hand side of the green line is 7:45. Over here now we're at 7:48 a.m. this morning. This earthquake lasts nearly 3 minutes. The top and the bottom have been cut off, which means this was a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. Look at all the other earthquakes here as well. Some of those are 2.5, 2.8, 2.9, 3.0 earthquakes. All of them. All of them. Now, see that earthquake after 11 a.m. on the black line? It actually started over on the green line above it on the right-hand side. Started with some tremors. Build up to minor 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes, then all of a sudden over here. And even before it got over here on the black line, on the green line on the far right. Okay? This was 10:59 a.m. 10:59 a.m. we had 3.3, 3.4 earthquake. Over on the black line on the left-hand side, we have at least a 3.3, but the top and the bottom have been cut off, which means this earthquake was at least a 3.5 to 4.0 earthquake as well. 10:59 to 11 a.m., 11:01 a.m. Then on the blue line below that, on the left-hand side, it's 11:30. We go over here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11:36. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. A 6-minute long earthquake. We have at least a 3.0 earthquake here. The top and the bottom of this sequence have been cut off, which means we have 5 minutes of shaking. How would you like to be in a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake that lasted 5 minutes? That's what these people here in Walnut La Puente have experienced here today. Happen. Then on the black line below that after 12 noon, at least 2.0 sequence, and that 2.0 sequence lasts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, a little over 6.5 minutes. That's a lot of shaking over here in Walnut La Puente. But we're not done. We're not done. Let's go over to the Imperial Valley. On the northeast side of the Salton Sea, we have a place called North Shore. North Shore Salton Sea. There are only tremors over at North Shore Salton Sea. But I want to show you the town of Imperial first. Actually, before that, I want to show you Bombay Beach. Good old Bombay Beach. Look at this. This is on the east side of the Salton Sea. Look what we're seeing here. Again, these earthquake sequences have been, the tops and the bottom of these sequences have been cut off. At least 3.5, 4.0 earthquakes here at Bombay Beach today. Yes, we also have some 3.0s here. But look what we're showing you here. Now, folks, we're only seeing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 earthquakes, 8 good-sized earthquakes. Usually we see 10 to 12 earthquakes every day. They have scrubbed the seismic data. The agencies have scrubbed the scientific data here. There are more earthquakes than they're showing here. They don't want to be honest with us at all. Holdville, or I'm sorry, Bombay Beach here. Let's go down to the town of Imperial here. Down to the town of Imperial, we've had 3.0 earthquakes before, but now all we are showing here in Imperial are tremors. For the first time in months, we're only seeing tremors here in the town of Imperial. That's fabulous. At least people are not getting woken up in the middle of their sleep or at the end of their sleep early in the morning. Unreal. That's the town of Imperial. Okay, I'm sorry. This is North Shore Salton Sea, on the northeast side of the Salton Sea. Long-term tremors here. This is on also the San Andreas. South of here at Bombay Beach, you saw the earthquakes. Again, the San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded. The San Andreas Fault is locked and loaded. Juanito is here. Let's show you El Centro. El Centro, California, guys, we're having 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes all day here in El Centro. They're ongoing. This doesn't stop. Day in, day out, night and day. We have these small 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes all day long. This started happening about 6 months ago and it's continuing. It's not stopping. Not stopping. Now you see these wavy lines between the earthquakes. These wavy lines are magma. These earthquakes in the town of El Centro, most of them are being caused by magma beneath the surface. Magma down beneath the surface. Yes, some of these earthquakes are not magma caused. They're caused by earthquake faults in this area, but the wavy lines here indicate that some of these earthquakes are magma related. Magma flowing over to the Salton Butte volcano. That's what's going on here. Magma coming from the shoreline of San Diego City all the way over here to the town of El Centro, and the magma going to the over to the Salton Butte volcano. That's what's going on here. Yes, we're seeing 3.0. We're seeing 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes here as well. That earthquake over here after 6 a.m. this morning on the top, on the second top line, top black line here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 minutes after that. So this would be 6:06 and some change. 3.3 earthquake. It lasts about 30 seconds. How would you like to have a 3.3 earthquake shake your house? Constant shaking. Your floor is moving. Your feet feel it if you're walking around or if you're even putting your feet off the bed. You feel the ground shake. That's what's happening here in El Centro, California. The ground is shaking. Okay? I showed you the town of Imperial. Let's go on here. I want to go over to Holdville now. Look here at Holdville. This is where the Salton Sea Desert Research Station is. In the research station, they have a seismograph. Look what we're showing here. We're showing tremors, we're showing minor earthquakes, and we're showing you small earthquakes here as well. Okay? Small earthquake after 7 a.m. this morning. 7 a.m. this morning, there was about 5 minutes after 7, there was a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Then after 8:30 on the blue line on the left-hand side. About 8:31, there was a 3.0 earthquake. 8:31 and 3.0 earthquake. And then again, after 8:07 a.m. this morning on the blue line, another 3.0 earthquake, and it may have been larger than that. You can see the longer earthquakes here, longer upright lines here, vertical lines. Okay, 2.7, 2.8, 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes here. All day long here. This is Holtville. Now I want to show you Calipatria. This is the southeast side of the Salton Sea. Now we usually see a lot more earthquakes than we're seeing here. This is the top of the seismograph. Seismogram here. It started recording after 3:15 this morning, or 3:15 last night, yesterday afternoon. All you see are tremors here and one minor earthquake. The red line up at the top is a minor 2.0 earthquake. All the rest of these are just tremors here. We usually have more earthquakes than this. What I think has happened is the USGS, this is a USGS seismograph. I believe the USGS has doctored this seismograph. Like I said, we've usually seen anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here at Calipatria. They're not showing us that. After 7 p.m., you see 1900 on the left-hand side, that's 7 p.m. They've doctored this seismograph after that even. You hardly see anything going on. Yes, you see an earthquake here after 12:17, or actually 12:32 this morning. 12:32 this morning. That is a 2.1 earthquake. Look here, there's nothing else showing here. They basically turned the seismograph so far down, it's not registering anything. But this 2.2 earthquake is here, which means this 2.2 earthquake may have been a large earthquake caused by magma. Caused by magma over here on the southern side of the Salton Sea. Look here. Look here. After 5 a.m. this morning, all of a sudden, they turned the seismograph back up. After 4:15, you see some tremors here. Tremors here. Over here, after 5:45 on the right-hand side, this is 5:59 a.m. We see our first 2.0 earthquake here. We've seen a 2.0 earthquake earlier, but that was after they turned the seismograph down. Look at these earthquakes here. See these blobs of magma here? These round objects are blobs of magma here. Look at the vertical lines there. The vertical lines here are caused by magma here. Magma fracturing the rock here underneath the ground. Magma fracturing the rock underneath the ground here. Look over on the right-hand side here. You see that red line here? That it's after 6:15 this morning. Over here, this is about 6:25. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. We have quite a few earthquakes. The red lines you see here, they're identifying earthquakes. They're computer generated identifying earthquakes so the seismologist doesn't miss it. Look down here towards the bottom of this seismogram though. This is important information. This is late this morning. Look how the seismogram is completely obliterated. All of the white used to be paper. These are digital seismograms. These are digital. They used to be paper. But you see the complete coloring overshadowing the paper. That's how much magma has been coming into the magma chamber here of the volcano. That's what's registering here. That's what's registering here, guys. This is volcanic. This is all volcanic. This is typically what we've seen here at Calipatria before. Not necessarily the total coloration, but we've seen a lot of earthquakes and tremors here at Calipatria before. They've hidden them. They disguised them or completely deleted them off the seismograph. They don't want anybody to know what's going on here. Calipatria is very active. Calipatria is very active. Like I said, we have anywhere from 75 to 100, 150 earthquakes here every day. For them not to be showing all these earthquakes here, even at night. Before this, last year, we could see earthquakes here at night. But here during the day before, we had earthquakes here. Not like this, though. There were a lot more. I believe they have obscured, erased, or deleted the earthquakes here on the seismograph today. They shut the seismograph down. They deleted the seismograph, deleted the earthquake events on the seismograph. Any questions? And Pickering is saying here in the chat, they never tell us what's going on. Thank you, Ron, for your information. She also says, I've been watching you since you started here, and we really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you here, guys. Here on the San Andres Fault, on the east side of the Salton Sea, all the way into Mexico. All the way into Mexico, guys. We're seeing the San Andres Fault act up. It's locked and loaded. It's locked and loaded. We're going to see a major earthquake on the San Andres Fault. It's about to happen. Southern California is going to be shaken out of its boots. Whether it's early in the morning, later in the evening, whatever it's at. Southern California is going to be shaken out of its boots, either in Los Angeles or down in the Imperial Valley, all the way into northern Mexico. All the way into northern Mexico. That's the San Andres Fault goes all the way down the coast of southern Mexico. We're seeing a lot of activity here. We're seeing a ton of activity. Look at all those red earthquakes here. Those are recent. Those have been on here since we came on the air. Let's move in here. Let's see what these are. This is a 1.2 tremor over here in Borrego Springs in the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. This is a 0.8 microquake here in the Anza Borrego Desert State Park here, Borrego Springs, California. Down here in the Imperial Valley here, that blue earthquake here was red. It just happened. Brawley, California. Brawley, California. This is just west of Brawley, California here. It's 1.3 tremor. Further south here is Imperial, the town of Imperial, just northeast of Imperial. This is 1.3 tremor here. Again, this may be USGS's time to try to show us activity. Now, we have had 5.0, 5.5 earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley before. They've happened. They've happened. They may still happen here again. It's literally a matter of time. It's literally a matter of time. Do we have any questions here? Do we have anybody that has any questions here? The reason I show you this, we have a lot of our family members living in Southern California. I have family living there. My son lives down there. My cousins live in San Diego City. My son lives in North San Diego County. My ex-wife lives there. I have friends I used to work with the federal police department live in San Diego County. I'm concerned for everybody's lives. USGS does not say anything. USGS is not saying a darn word. I didn't show you one seismogram from San Diego City. At the San Diego Gas and Electric Building, there's a seismogram. Mission Valley. Shows a bunch of tremors over in Mission Valley. That's caused by earthquakes coming out of Los Angeles to the Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault coming into San Diego City. Earthquakes and tremors there. It's going to happen. Sage Pup says there's a 1.6 explosion in Hines, Oregon. Really? Just for kicks and giggles here. Just for kicks and giggles. Let's take the USGS, the EMA banner here. Let's put up the USGS earthquake map. Let's go over to Hines, Oregon. Let's go up here to Hines, Oregon. I just love taking a look at this. I get a thrill out of it. I don't see it. We have a tremor over here near just southeast of St. Helens here, but I don't see much of anything at all in Oregon. Sage Pup says that tremor there in Oregon is a explosion. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Okay, they're not showing anything here on the USGS map. Let's take a look at something else here. On my device here, I have the EMSC map, the European map here. Let's see if the European map even shows anything over here in Hines, Oregon. It might. EMSC map usually shows things that USGS did not. So let's take a look at that. I'm very interested to see what it says. Bring up the EMSC map here. I'm bringing over here to the West Coast. Let's see what's going on in Oregon, if it says anything at all. Doesn't say anything in Oregon at all. Nothing at all in Oregon. The only earthquake I showed you here, I just showed you on the USGS map over just south of Mount St. Helens. South of Mount St. Helens. Incredible. Pistol River, Oregon. Just off the coast of Pistol River, Oregon. This is 9 miles southwest of Pistol River, Oregon. We have a 1.52 tremor. Okay. South of there, on the Mendocino Fault. Mendocino Fault runs east of Petrolia. This is a 1.18 tremor here on the Mendocino Fault here. We're still not seeing any earthquakes in Oregon, which is a fallacy. There are always earthquakes in Oregon. There are earthquakes. There is seismic activity showing at Mount Hood, not on the USGS map, but there's seismic activity showing at Mount Hood. There's seismic activity showing at Newberry Volcano, at Bachelor Volcano, at Sisters Volcano, and Crater Lake Volcano, and other volcanoes all over Oregon. For USGS not to show anything is a fallacy. It's a lie. Complete lie. My buddy Al Sanchez is here. Thank you, Al, for being here. I believe he lives in Tennessee now. He used to live in Los Angeles. Al Sanchez has been a dear friend of mine for years. Thank you for being here. Al Sanchez says when he lived in Carlsbad, which is North San Diego County along the coastline, he says he took care of a quadriplegic for 26 years. My buddy Ron was down the road in Encinitas on a special protective detail. Yeah. Yep. Sure was. I don't know how many times I did protective details. I was also in Carlsbad. Get this, guys. You guys are going to love this. I was doing an auto accident on Interstate 5 north of Oceanside. Okay? I got called to take care of an accident with the Highway Patrol on Interstate 5 north of Oceanside. Great deal. But then, what happened? We got another call that Carlsbad police were asking for help. They had a report of Elvis sightings on the La Costa golf course in Carlsbad. So my partner and I drove south to Carlsbad, got off the Interstate 5 near the La Costa golf course, and that's where the Mutual of New York Life Insurance Company has the Pro-American golf tournament in La Costa. So we went there. It was evening. It was probably 7:30 in the evening, just barely getting dark. We didn't see Elvis, but several people did see Elvis on the golf course. Yeah, fun and games in La Costa, right? Yeah, crazy. We also had some drug deals, or not drug deals, but we actually had some drug meth, and we had cocaine in people's homes, and one apartment complex over in La Costa as well. So we had to take care of that. Crazy. That's what happens when you're a cop in San Diego County. Crazy times. Now, guys, I know we've been here a long time tonight. I didn't mean to go over 2 hours like I did. But guys, I think this is important. I want to take the next couple minutes to talk about a scripture in the first epistle of John. This is important. Okay? Over in first chapter, verse 3, I want to start there. That which we have seen and heard we declare unto you, that ye may also have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ. Then in verse 5, this then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you, that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Verse 7, but if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Jesus Christ, his Son, cleanses us from all sin. We need to walk in the light. We need to walk in light. We need to walk in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. We need to start emulating Jesus Christ. We need to walk in his footsteps. We should be representatives of Jesus Christ in our everyday lives. We should be representing Jesus Christ every day in our lives. Let's do that, brothers and sisters. I love each one of you. I appreciate you all being here. Guys, I haven't had our PayPal or our address here. Let me try to put that up here for just a second here. See our PayPal address going across the bottom of your screen here? We'd appreciate if you would also, I know you guys have given us super chats here, but we'd appreciate if you'd also consider contributing to our PayPal. We'd appreciate that greatly as well. Okay? You can contribute to our PayPal, which we greatly appreciate. And you also have our address here, right here. Scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Our address here is 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We haven't gotten a card or letter in about a month. We love cards and letters here, guys. In your letters and your cards, please tell us how you're doing. Tell us how you are preparing for what you need to do when earthquakes or any other emergency or disaster befall you. You need to prepare. We'd like to hear how you are preparing. Please send us that information. We greatly appreciate it. Also, you see our email address here as well, rltnspdema@gmail.com. If you have comments or questions, you you can send them to our email as well. We'd appreciate that as well. Or if you have suggestions on what you'd like to see us talk about here on this channel, please send us to that as well. We'd love to know that. We'd love that. Also, if you react to our program that we presented to you tonight, you can do that by going down here at the bottom of your screen, down here, below this video here. After this program is over, you're going to see areas where you can comment. Please leave us comments. YouTube loves to see that because that just shows them that you are interested in our program. So please give us comments after this program is over. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I appreciate all of you being here. I really do. It says there are 52 people still watching our channel. We appreciate that greatly. We really do. I'm going to check something real quick here. My computer will let me here. We've had 95 thumbs up. I have 52 people still watching the program. We appreciate that so much. We appreciate all the super chats we've gotten. We appreciate our moderators that have been here watching the program, being part of our program today. God bless you all. We love you and appreciate you. Folks, if anything else happens tonight or in the morning, we'll be back here on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. If not, we'll be back here on the air sometime after 4 p.m. tomorrow evening. God bless you. God be with you. God be with you until we meet again. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. I do love you very much. Thank you for all your help, and thank you for your super chats and support today. God bless you. We'll see you on the other side.